Welcome to the Brox and Max channel. It's me again, posting some probably bullshit videos of Max and Brockways. I don't actually just do Max and Brockways or Brockways and Max, but it just seems to be a thing. Sorry about that. I'll get more manufacturers on my channel. But for those of you that actually like Brockways, which there's not many, and it's something that I kind of concentrate on myself, so I know a little bit about them. Not as much as, you know, the real Brockway geniuses out there, but I try to do my part. But anyway, I was driving by and I saw one and I thought maybe it'd be interesting to post. So here we go. So many of you are probably wondering, yeah, okay, Brockway Plow Truck. They made thousands of these, which is true. But the thing is, you don't really see Brockway 200 series plow trucks actually functioning, running, driving anymore. They're always in the dingweed somewhere or ready to go to the scrapyard. This one is actually in pretty good shape. And me being a 200 series enthusiast myself, I find it quite interesting. From what I can tell on the windshield, it's a 1966, which is a super late one. Even the serial number is relatively late because the 200 series disappeared in 1966. I don't think there's any 67s out there because that's right when the 300 series started coming out, and that was the end of the road for these models. How you can tell, before I even open up the hood, you have these stainless steel strips there. If there's no diesel emblem and all they are is a consistent same length strip, it's gasoline powered. Never mind, there's no big fancy airbox for the big diesel underneath this hood. And basically, when the 200 series were sent off to pasture, it was because higher horsepower Cummins were coming out and there just wasn't enough room for a big radiator. Oh boy, there wasn't enough room for a big radiator for this style, so they get a wider radiator so it can cool the engine better. But this is actually a pretty big gasoline powered engine. I don't know enough about Continentals to be able to say, oh yeah, that's a such and such. But it's just big and it drinks a lot of gas, and I'm tired of holding that hood. I'm a pretty tall guy. I mean, the distance between here and here is astounding. I bet you could put a flotation tire on that and it would still be behind this fender. These are homemade fenders. These are not factory, as you can tell by the radius there, which, you know, hey, that's cool. I don't know if somebody at the last whatever town this came from made them special when they finally gave up the original ones, rotted out or whatever. Cosmetically, it's in pretty stand-up condition. I mean, you could see it's white and there's a little bit of rust stain up on top, which is normal. But I believe this truck has spent a majority of time since it's been retired outside, hence all the chromium is off this wing tower cylinder. But it's held up quite nicely. I would say it's in usable shape. I've definitely seen some real bone Brockways come to the Brockway show. This is definitely Brockway show quality, and hopefully it can make it to the show. See what's under here for a rear end. Oh boy. Well, I can kind of tell, but how I can tell really well is go to the front here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, it's a U200 rear. Kind of looks a lot like a Mack rear, but it's Rockwell's style of rear end. Just look at the steel that they had to use for the wing towers to beef these trucks up plowing snow. It's not that they don't do that today, but there was a lot of steel on these trucks. And how they compensated for that is that's one heck of a spring stack here on the passenger side. Actually, I've never seen helper springs that thick on a 200 series before. I wonder if it's like that on the other side. And how you can tell a 200 series from a 300 series, other than they look a lot different in the front end. The cabs are kind of the same, but you got external shutters on a 200 series compared to the 300 series that had their own grill insert. It came out plastic, different look. Well, I was wrong. So they have the same amount of spring stacks, same amount of spring helpers. This thing is beefy. I don't know if I would enjoy driving this truck down the road. That just looks like a backache. But it's pretty unique anyway. Big old Continental engine. I wonder if this gotta have power steering. Got to, come on. Oh yeah. So there's a power steering reservoir, belt driven. You'd have to have power steering for this truck. I mean, no way is somebody manhandling this. Plowing snow, heavy load on the back. Not saying it can't be done, but definitely helps. The box is fair. You got your typical rot holes here and there from just sitting around. See what's on the inside here. Okay. Not bad. All there. Got the nice and cozy air ride seat. Yeah, actually it's not air ride. There's a lot of air in between here. But this is original equipment for what this truck was like brand new. I mean, obviously somebody reclothed the bottom, but that is all original. I wonder how many miles are on this thing. Well, 39,000 original miles, maybe. Let's see what you got 4,500 hours. So I would imagine that's pretty accurate because the gauges are all weathered. You know, the chrome around the rims are not in the best of shape, so I would imagine those are the original gauges to the truck. And it's a 5-speed. It's a 260 model, 260L, 65204. Cannot believe there's not even a 2. Yeah, it's literally a straight 5-speed. There's no way. There's no way somebody was plowing snow just with a 5-speed. No way. I'm going to do some more investigating here. Got some clutch response. The floor underneath this wood is a little tired, but that's okay. I have seen much worse than this. This is actually in pretty good shape. And then we have the lubrication directions. The proper way to take care, let's see how it actually, what it says. Correct care and lubrication of your Brockway is essential. Got engine, transmission, auxiliary, and rear axle. I have never seen a sticker like that. That is cool. Those are long gone. I didn't even know something like that existed. So anyway, back to this 5-speed. Five-speed. There isn't even an auxiliary plate. I'm going to find out. That is one high step you got to go up to just jump on the tank. And I'm a pretty tall drink of water myself. Okay. So you have a 9505 or 905 Eaton Fuller. You have a carrier bearing right there. I cannot believe there's no way. It did have that slot above the cross member where the daylight is coming through. It once upon a time just had a dry shaft brake. There was not maxi chambers on it from the factory, which is completely normal for Brockway or anything in the mid to late 60s. They were just coming out with some different ways of parking the truck, so that's not surprising at all. I'd say somebody has already converted this. Oh yeah, they converted that over. But back to, there is absolutely no clue behind there being an auxiliary back here. I cannot believe this. There's no way. Don't have any holes for where a cross member was. And then that cross member for the dry shaft brake, usually there's two big holes somewhere for hanging the front of the auxiliary up, and there's just, it's not there. Literally not there. Can't believe it. Well, that would be why it's got 39,000 miles on it. Whoever spec'd out this truck probably hated it. Still an easy truck to drive, just bombing around at truck shows or parades, but I'd say working it would be pretty tough. Yeah, you got maxi, somebody's already converted it. The double frame. Yep, double frame. You see a little bit of spread there on that one. Not bad. Not even bad underneath, really. For what this truck has or hasn't been doing, I'd say there's quite a bit of life left in it. If you like gasoline powered trucks or like Brockways in general, this is probably one for you. Pretty sure I know who owns it. He's an enthusiast himself. Don't know what it's doing here, maybe just getting some work done. I've never really walked up to it in person to put my eyes on it myself, but this is a pretty tough truck. Don't know what the intentions are, but maybe I'll ask around, see what the deal is. But anyway, this is just a little short video. I felt it was worth posting. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more. And I'll see you at the next truck I find alongside the road.